Good evening, everyone. Yes, I'm not Gerald Glassford, but I'm close. And we're going to have a fun, fun, fun activity tonight. And you are watching the Lakers post-game and merging of the Lakers nightcap, or I should say Lakers fast break nightcap. And I got to say, it was an interesting night, folks. An interesting night. I didn't think the Lakers were going to be this competitive tonight, but maybe I should have. And what can I say? The Lakers played as well as they could, considering their circumstances. Yes, I'm trying to be positive. I'm totally full of crap right now, folks, by the way. The Lakers did win, though, 115 to 111. I have John Costa here with us. Gerald is currently taxiing for the moment, but he will be here. For those of you who were on the playback, welcome back to the show. And for those who aren't, hopefully you'll catch us later. Again, I want to get going on this because I think there's a lot of rant-worthy stuff, although I don't feel like I'm in a rant mode. I don't know why. What do you think, John? Should I rant tonight or should I just be sarcastic?
No, you should rant, Joe. You know what? While I was watching the game, I thought to myself, I think I'm going to rant because I was like, maybe I'll go rant after Joe rants or something like that because legitimately, Joe, I know we got the win. This might have been one of the most terrible games I've watched from the Lakers team in a long time. And this team has had a lot of bad games. Do we realize that these were rookies and undrafted players, and this was competitive from the second quarter to the end? This was our starters in the game. This is insane, Joe. This is absolutely rant-worthy.
Well, I'll tell you what. Tonight, it wasn't just the Lakers tonight. It was almost everyone in the league. So tonight, following the scoreboard, the out-of-town scoreboard, the Spurs hit I guess there was 0.9 seconds left, that last second shot to beat Denver, which could end up costing them the 1 seed because Minnesota beat Atlanta. And the Thunder beat the Bucks. And it's getting I got to say this. There's a little bit of an opening here for the Lakers to possibly avoid Denver now if they're not going to get the 1 seed. I was pretty convinced that Denver was going to win tonight, and they didn't. And it looks like it's probably going to cost them the 1 seed. I don't think anyone thought that the Lakers would. I'm sorry, the Nuggets would lose tonight against the Spurs, even though they were in San Antonio. But it's a reality now. They lost. Minnesota won, and the Thunder won. So Denver could find themselves as a 2 or 3 at this point because Minnesota, I believe, owns the tiebreaker. If that's the case, this gets a little easier. And I know I'm not trying to disrespect Minnesota fans and Oklahoma City fans, but it's just much better that the Lakers play those teams versus the Nuggets should they get out of this rut that they're in. And what could I say? I don't know. I had a lot going on this evening to finish off the evening. And there's also activities going on tonight, which is why we merged the Lakers fast break post game with the nightcap. Plus, it's a lot easier for some of you on the East Coast to be on the show live instead of being on live at 2 a.m. on a Friday night. Again, there's a little bit of workaround on there. I'll let you guys know the updates on that. We're going to figure out a sweet spot here for everyone so it works for everyone. But with that, John, I'm going to ask you a question, and then you are welcome to rant or discuss however you want. It's going to be your forum to do what you need to do. You can even say a couple of expletives if you need to. What was the issue tonight? Because LeBron and AD played well. So what was the issue? I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you. What was the issue tonight with the Lakers and having this game be as close as it was?
You know what the number one issue to me was? It was that they didn't want it. They simply did not want it as much as the Memphis Grizzlies did. We had our full starters, our full lineup, our full strength lineup out there, and from the we took a big lead in the first quarter, and then in the second quarter the Grizzlies go on this crazy run and they tied their season high for points in a quarter. Mind you, the team that has the worst offensive rating in the league, they tied their season high with a whole bunch of rookies and undrafted players by scoring 38 points in that second quarter. And then after there, Joe, like, they just wanted it more than us. I mean, we played so bad. We played down to their level time and time and time again. I mean, in that second quarter, number one thing I noticed that then that's when the game became a game, because I mean, to be real with you, we had a comfortable lead at the end of the first quarter, and I thought, all right, cool. We can just keep playing this along. We'll be good. Just keep a comfortable lead. Just keep that arm's length. We were not able to do that at all because we played down to their level. I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies were smacking threes today. Let me see. I don't want to misspeak. Yeah, they shot 43% from the 3-point line tonight. They went 17 of 39. In that second quarter, they could not miss. At halftime, Gigi Jackson was 5 of 10 from the 3-point line. That Jake LaRiva or whatever that white guy's name is, that guy was like 3 of 4 from the 3-point line in the second quarter. And you know what the Lakers were doing? The Lakers were trying to shoot threes just like them. Did they not see what happened in the first quarter? In the first quarter, y'all, we had 18 of our 20. I believe we had 26 points in the first half. No, sorry, I think like 34 or something like that. We scored 18 points in the paint. 18 points in the paint. And then in the second quarter, we decide to shoot threes and try to keep up with them. I don't understand why in the world they did that. They played down to the level of the Grizzlies. Another thing is they just didn't want it. Like, I think back to that. I think it was third quarter or fourth quarter. When the Lakers had a turnover and then Scottie Pippen Jr. hustled on the other end, and I believe he hustled with D'Angelo Russell, and he dove on the floor. Him and D'Lo did their thing. Scottie Pippen Jr. gets the ball. He's on the ground. He passes it to his Memphis Grizzlies teammates, and when I'm looking on the screen, you know what I see, Joe? I saw 4 Memphis Grizzlies players running on the other end and 0 Laker players besides D'Angelo Russell. So that means that D'Angelo Russell was the only guy that ran back to go hustle off of that ball. And all 5 of the Memphis Grizzlies ran back. Scottie Pippen Jr. was on the floor. Everybody else was running, just waiting to get a pass from him. There was not a single Laker on the other end. Like, Joe, straight up, the Memphis Grizzlies deserved to win this game. I'm glad we won. But if we're talking about just like intensity and energy, oh my goodness. Another thing, Joe, in the fourth quarter, the game just finished, right? So you didn't even got to go back. We could remember with our memory. The Memphis Grizzlies were not running no type of offense. All it was like a one-on-one possession every single time. You know that this is a game that's played 5-on-5. I don't care how good you are. You should not be beating your primary defender and a help side defender. Thing that sucked for us is we didn't freaking have no help side defend. Like, literally, Rui would get blown by, AR would get blown by, D'Lo would get blown by, and there would be no freaking help almost the entire game. But it really showed in the fourth quarter. It was an absolute embarrassment. Man, Joe, I'm not gonna lie, brother. Like, I said this right when the game ended. Like, I was happy and whatnot because LeBron got that steal, dunked it, and I looked at Josh. I was like, I was kind of turned up. I was just jumping up and down. But this is one of those games that we barely survived, and it's so embarrassing because all 5 of their starters are just respectfully no names. Like they're great basketball players. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they go to 24-hour fitness or City Sports or LA Fitness, wherever, they'd be the freaking greatest players that they've ever walked in that gym. But against NBA players, against the Lakers, who's trying to compete for a playing spot, against our healthy starting 5, we were competitive with this team all game. That's ridiculous, Joe. I don't even know.
Yes, it was almost a continuation of this last game against the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is the Warriors have stars and they prevailed the way they did. The Lakers can't seem to understand that they have no position to play like this and still create a mentality that they're going to go on a run. I think they're so stubborn in that they feel once we get in, we're going to go do what we do because of probably last year. A lot of times, the term blessing in disguise is used a lot when something bad happens and then it ends up being a good thing. Well, this is what happened last year when the Lakers went on a run to the Western Conference Finals as a 7th seed. I think that was actually the reverse. It was a good thing that's now going to be a problem because their mindset is stuck on that, I believe. That they think, well, once we get in, that's why you hear things like health over seeding, which irritated me because you don't have a seeding. You're in a play-in. You're not even in the playoffs. You would have had seeding if you had both played the last 2 games and won, and then you basically put up this kind of performance here tonight where you risked officially getting a 10 seed where you'd have to battle twice to just get in. Sorry, guys, I keep seeing home runs in the Padre-Dodger game, so I keep going back and forth. So Mookie hit a home run. Ohtani hit a home run. I think Manny Machado hit a home run. It's Max Muncy hit a home run. It's a home run central here. Anyways, it is. I think in the end here, and this is probably why I'm not irritated. I think we just have to wait till all 82 games are done with all teams, and then see where everyone will go there. There's so much confusion. There's so much unknown right now that I don't know where to go anymore with this. It changes all the time. Yesterday, I was sure Denver was going to win today and get to that 1 seed. Now they might drop to 3. The Lakers, about a week ago, I was assured that they were going to have a shot at the 6, for sure 7. Now we don't know if they're going to be a 7, an 8, or a 10. So this has just gotten to the point where it's hard to predict and hard to discuss at this point. And I also want to mention, folks, before I ask John our next question, folks, for those of you who are moderating the chat, please, I want you all to listen very, very clearly. Putting a patron on the chat in silence is not good 99% of the time. We don't want trolls on the chat, meaning people who are dropping expletives for no reason, N-bombs, whatever. That's the stuff we've had in the past. Those scumbags need to go away, okay? If we have regulars that are in dispute with us, people on the chat, I would say if it's on the chat, you start seeing cursing against each other, that's the 1% where I'm like, okay, go ahead and, calm them down. But if somebody on the chat says something to us and it's not nice, it's okay. Let them speak. Let them have their opinion. We are not a censorship show, folks. I want people to say what they want to say. I don't get offended. I don't get hurt. I am not sensitive. I am an a-hole, don't care kind of guy. Somebody wants to yap, you let them yap. As long as they're not doing stupid yapping, and I already told you what that was. So, with that, John, right now I'm looking at the scoreboard in the NBA, okay? The Warriors and the Pelicans are tied at 35, and they were just up 8, so the Pelicans are making a run here. And then the Clippers, I'm sorry, not the Clippers, the Suns are up 11-6. So, let's just say the Pelicans beat the Warriors and the Suns beat the Kings. This opens up that door again for the Lakers to get the 7th seed. I'm sorry, 8th seed. Do the Lakers prevail in their last game of the season against Pelicans to assure themselves that 8th seed?
They absolutely have to. They absolutely have to. There is no room for error. And it's funny, Joe, because both me and you have said this so many times throughout the season. It's like this team was acting like their margin of error is massive. Like they were punting games, taking games off, not taking teams seriously, and that's where it's gotten us now. And then, I mean, that's where it really got. I mean, yeah, so that's where it's gotten us now. But that's where it really got us when we were at when we played the Warriors, right? Like when Anthony Davis didn't play and LeBron James decided to play through a little headache or whatever, or Anthony Davis didn't play because of a little tummy ache or whatever. That right there to me was that was absurd, because I was like, all right, well, we've already played the games all freaking season long, so now like this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna not play because of a tummy ache. Like, you got to play through whatever. But okay, he doesn't end up playing. We end up losing that game. All right, now we lose a tiebreaker with the Warriors, and if we tie with them, which we have the same record as of now, we're in that 10th. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I was just talking to somebody
Oh,
else.
we're in that 10th seed. So now, like, I don't like. I mean, I personally believe in God. I don't know if other people out there believe in God, but I feel like the Lord then gave us another chance.
Praise Jesus.
The Lord then gave us another chance. Okay, the Lord is looking down on La La Land, and He said, "You know what, guys? I'm gonna give you one more chance. I'm gonna give you one more chance to get this right." And Joe, if we blow this last chance to get it right, you know what, Joe? I may just.
Well, getting it right. So here's where this plays an interesting role. Not only if we can get it right, should Golden State and the Kings lose, but the Lakers are, let's say they get the 8. And again, even if they don't, let's say but they got to win 2 games if they stick to the 9 and 10, right? We're trying to avoid that second game. But let's just say they stay where they're at and they win 2 games. Now that 8 seed isn't as, I was concerned about the 8 seed. That's why I wanted them to get the 7 and 6, because I believed that Denver was going to be the one. I had no inclination, and I don't think anyone did, that the Denver Nuggets were going to lose to the Spurs tonight. So things have changed. Again, that's probably why the rant isn't aggressive tonight, because I'm going to reverse it back to the blessing in disguise thing. Now it's back again. Was it a blessing in disguise for them to do what they did? Because I think it would have been pure comedy if they ended up getting the 6 and then playing Denver anyways, if they end up being a 3. So it's a lot of stuff. That's why this thing has to play out. And I'm not talking about the Lakers getting to the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about whoever wins the play-in.
I got you.
Now we got to wait till that's done to really know what the hell's going to happen.
Honestly, Joe, you know what's crazy? There's so many moving pieces that I feel like we've talked about the Lakers and like gave so much energy into them being the 6th seed, them being the 9th seed, them being the 10th seed, and it just keeps rotating and flip-flopping. So I 100% agree with you, my brother. I think that we're just gonna have to wait till this thing plays out to see who we got. But I mean, as of right now, we sit in the 10th seed. No, we sit in the 8th seed. We sit in the 8th seed as of right now. If we and the Suns in the 7th seed, if we win that first game, we play the Timberwolves, which I would love. To me, I would. Again, I'd rather. Damn, I don't know, Joe, because I'm looking at this now.
It's better. There's a better chance. I'm not saying that the Lakers will beat Minnesota in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose, but it's a better shot against Minnesota. Minnesota has a player that's been in the playoffs a few times, and he struggled in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
Anthony Edwards, as good as he is, folks, I said the word good. Stop calling everyone great, please.
Yeah. People trying to say like he's Jordan.
He tends to disappear sometimes. The other night being one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then you have Karl Anthony Towns, who's got knee situations. I had predicted that he wasn't going to get to the first round, and apparently he's going to be back, or he's back or whatever. And we're going to have to gauge his performance. When you're out as long as he has, I don't know what kind of stamina he's going to have. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'd rather play Minnesota, a team that's not as experienced. Mm-hmm. They're kind of the Memphis Grizzlies of last year. They're in that mode. And if you're playing LeBron James, Anthony Davis, who are champions, and you got a couple of guys that can shoot the ball on the Lakers team and have had the experience from last year, you know, there's a chance there. With Denver is equipped to do whatever as long as everyone's healthy, and they already won it all. So there's a better chance to beat Minnesota than Denver in the first round. So with that, It could be Oklahoma City too. So either one, I'm going to at least feel a little bit more confident in to possibly steal a series.
Let me
But
ask you something real quick.
yeah,
I can't share my screen because I'm on my work computer and they restrict me from doing that. But I'm gonna just I'm gonna explain it. Okay, so I mean I you know what it looks like, but Lakers currently sit in the 8th seed, Suns are in the 7th seed, and the Warriors are in the 10th seed, and the Kings are in the 9th seed. Okay, so this is like as of right now. If the Lakers beat the Suns in that first playing game, we just go to the 7th seed and we play as of right now, second seed, which is the Timberwolves. If we lose that game, we get that second game versus against that's the winner of the Kings and the Warriors as of right now, right? And then if we win that game, we become the A seed that plays the number 1 seed, which is the Oklahoma City Thunder. What as of today, as of right now, because like how you said, I mean, it'll change by Sunday. Regular season ends on Sunday, but as of right now, like, would you do you think it'd be smarter? And I know this might sound crazy, but do you think it'd be smarter to maybe punt that Suns game in the play in, and then play the winner of 9 and 10 and like dominate, and you can't guarantee a dominance, but try to make sure you win that game so that you get the 8th seed and you play the even less experienced Thunder, because you were just talking about the inexperience of the Timberwolves and how some players disappear. Well, the Thunder have even less experience than the Timberwolves. So how would you feel? Because it's a crazy idea. It's a crazy idea because it's us losing one game and then guaranteeing who, no matter who we play, whether the Kings or the Warriors, that we beat them. But what'd you think about that?
it's a good question. I just don't know how to answer it right now. I'd probably be able to answer it tonight
Okay.
because I don't know how this is going to play out. Even the Lakers, if they stay at the 9 or 10, means they're going to get an 8 seed should they win out in the play-in. Which means right now, it's not out of the realm that Oklahoma City sees the light and says, we have to win this last game so that we can get the 1 seed. Minnesota, same thing, but I didn't think Denver was going to lose tonight. Now, think about that for a second. If Denver doesn't lose tonight, they're in the 1 seed. They win one more game, it's over. Everything changed with that loss. And everything's going to change depending on who wins tonight and who loses. So it's very difficult. It has been very difficult to figure out how this plays out because there's so many random things going on. You can't gauge what. There's so many scenarios. Even Mike Trudell on the show, on the game show, was talking about all these scenarios, and it was just complicated as hell. That was before the Lakers won, before we knew the Denver Nuggets were going to win or lose, I should say. So it's just not. It's not. We have to wait. We have to wait till 82 is done, really. Then kind of go from there. Now, here's the issue I have right now. I worry about all 3 teams that are in the play-in right now, which is Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State. I worry about Golden State more than Phoenix and Sacramento, and I worry less about Sacramento versus Phoenix and Golden State. I hope you all can follow me there. Hopefully the Pelicans can do us a solid here and beat the Warriors and then lose to us at the end of the year. If they clinch the 6th seed, maybe they sit their guys down, because that's the kind of, league we're in right now. But I don't know. No, I do know. I don't feel that the Lakers' mental focus is really ever going to get where we wanted to get here this year. I don't know if it ever will. I just don't see when you talk about the greatest players of all time, there's all kinds of personalities and all kinds of focused guys like Tim Duncan. You wouldn't look at Tim Duncan and say he's a killer, right? But he was extremely successful. David Robinson was successful. John Stockton was successful. None of these guys were known as killers. They didn't have that kind of personality. Now, John Stockton was a quote unquote dirty player, according to a lot of the NBA players back in the day. You could constitute that as a kind of a killer instinct. He just does it in a nice, quiet manner. But I also think when I talk about killers, it's different. It's not about demeanor. It's about having a mentality that you are going to fail because I'm the one that's going to make you fail. And I'm going to make you fail all the time, not in spurts, not when I want to, not because it's this, not, it's just there's too much randomness with today's teams and especially the Lakers players. Let's look at D'Angelo Russell tonight. And this is going to be a little mini rant, and it's something that needs to be addressed. D'Angelo, you need to stop having these kind of games.
Yes.
You had absolutely no reason to have a game like this tonight against this kind of competition. You scored 4 points in 35 minutes. You cannot do that again the rest of the year. If you do that, we're done. By the way, the Dodgers just hit another home run. Up 7-3. Yes, it's home run city, baby. It's just unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. And the encouraging part tonight in terms of the guards was Gabe Vincent played very good defense tonight, considering he was plus 27 in the plus minus, and it had to do a lot with his defense. His offense is just not going to get there. I don't know if it will. He was aggressive. He was aggressive in his shot selection. The problem is most of them weren't going in. However, it is you're being led by two of the stars, and two of those stars did some things this week that I wasn't in agreement with. I might have been out of line in calling them the B word for some people, and sometimes I look back on it. It sounds personal, no matter how much you say it's not. You know what I mean? Like calling someone a bit, a B.
That's the one word that's like, damn.
That pierces the soul a little bit. But I also don't understand how you can do what you did and call yourselves the mainstays, especially in a critical time like this, because your entire focus in the regular season is to make the playoffs. And you are not in the playoffs now. You are in a play-in. That means you have to play one or two more games to get in the playoffs. And if you think playing all these games is going to, and then adding another two to the fold is going to help you, then you're a fool. You could have fought through whatever you fought. I know you guys could have. I feel pretty confident that you guys could have played through what you played through, what you had, won those games, and then you wouldn't have to worry about playing two more full games with a lot more pressure on yourselves. Even if you had lost those two games and you played, there'd be some respect there. Hey, AD had a massive headache. He couldn't think. He couldn't do this, but at least he played. At least that's how I look at it. And it was important games. That's the key. It was an important game. But with all that, going back to D'Angelo, you cannot go cold like this. You cannot pull a Denver series where you disappear, because his defense is already not good enough. If he can't cover that with his offense and his shooting ability, especially from downtown, you are going to cause the Lakers a lot of problems and likely a loss, especially against teams that are going to go off like they have the last few games. This seems like it's a 3-point shooting line. It's a 3-point contest, and everybody's making them. You let a lousy team look like the Golden State Warriors tonight, and that's unacceptable. Either play defense or play offense. If you can't do both, do something that's going to contribute to the team. Now, he did have 10 assists, so maybe you can look at it as, well, I got the ball distributed, this, and that. But it's the competition that I'm upset about. You can't have that kind of game against this kind of competition. And you can't have this kind of game again in the playoffs. That's the problem. You can't score 4 points from your starting point guard in a league of guards, in a league of shooters. You can't. Absolutely cannot have that kind of performance. If you do, it's going to likely be a loss unless LeBron drops 45 and AD drops 45 in the same game. It's got to be something like that. And The longer this thing goes, the harder it's going to be for those guys to continue to play that way, and that's a fact. Let's see what he's been cold for 3 games. Joe, he's in can come. Okay,
Oh,
so he's in can come.
Wow.
One, I don't know anything about can come, but
Yeah.
it doesn't sound good. Let's see, Robert Wheeler. Joe, does D'Lo seem out of rhythm because he doesn't have the ball in his hands a lot lately since LeBron has the ball? You know what? There could be some truth. There could be some truth to that, but I've been seeing D'Angelo with his volleyball shot go in many a times this year. I don't see how he needs to have the ball in his hands to make those shots.
Can I play the devil's advocate real quick?
Sure.
Because I think that D'Angelo Russell is a rhythm type player, though. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, I don't think that it's smart for us to take the ball out of LeBron's hands come playoffs. Because if I got to decide who's going to be like, am I going to keep the ball in D'Angelo Russell's hand just so he can have rhythm, or am I going to allow LeBron James to be the playmaker and have the ball in his hands? I'd way rather have LeBron James have the ball in his hands and be the playmaker and be initiating offense for us. But I do think that there is a good amount of truth to what Robert Wheeler is saying, which as far as like D'Angelo Russell is a big time rhythm guy, and if he doesn't catch his rhythm, then shoot, he's useless, kind of like how he's been in the last couple games, to be honest.
So if he's not so this could contribute to the fact that we've been playing someone like Gabe Vincent more minutes, but then he did play 35 minutes. So how many more minutes would he have played? So if this is going to come down to coaching, then if this is what the issue is, so this is going to have to be adjusted quick here before they go into the playoffs. Should they make the playoffs? Again, folks, the Lakers are not going to make the playoffs. They're going to be a play-in. It's just a matter of what the results will be here in the next day or so on whether they're playing 1 or 2 games. Darvinham's going to have to figure out how to rhythm back players who are out of rhythm, if that indeed is the case. Does LeBron recognize that D'Angelo needs to be in rhythm? If he's as smart as he's told us, and how smart as the NBA pundits have told me he is a crucial part of you winning and having any chance of doing anything in the playoffs, should you make it, then you better get that guy in rhythm, because you're LeBron James. You can get in rhythm anytime.
Yes.
AD can get in rhythm anytime. You guys are great players. Great players don't need rhythm. They can get to where they go because LeBron can get to the basket. LeBron can maneuver in and around defenses. AD can get down to the post. He can shoot at the elbow. He can do a lot of things, whereas D'Angelo Russell doesn't have the athleticism to be, let's say, a John Morant and get to the basket at will. He needs his shot to go down, and he needs at least some distance from his man, and that usually is good ball movement in and around that offense. So there's a lot to discuss here in terms of what's going on mentally, and I hope there isn't any sour type things going on. So, and we're not going to know this until I guess it's when it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Will we hear something in the end here? Will we hear it? I don't know.
Joe, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still caught up on the can come.
Yeah, that wasn't good. That wasn't good.
The can come
is decided to show.
Oh, Joe Soro number 2.
No, I'm changing that stuff.
Joe, I didn't know you had a brother.
No, I don't have a brother. At least not the one I know of.
Oh, I was gonna keep it Joe Soro number 2 for the night.
Nah, it's okay. Welcome, Gerald. How was your taxi situation? Did it work out well?
Speeding on the 95 here in Las Vegas.
That's great. That's great decision making on the freeway after your wife worked a 12-hour shift.
Yep.
Anyways, John and I have been talking.
What about the embarrassing game and the embarrassing performance by the
I think we're more concerned about D'Angelo Russell's performance tonight, and also what could be coming here in terms of the
seeding.
The seeding.
Has John turned his membership card in for the D'Angelo Russell fan club after tonight?
Still got it right here.
I never really understood fan clubs, to be honest with you. Even when I was a kid, I'm a Laker fan. And yes, I loved Paul Gasol. I loved Kobe Bryant. Loved AD and LeBron and Laker players. But this is about the team. There's no I in team. There's no I in the Lakers. Blah,
They
blah,
played
blah.
with no energy, no
That's
effort.
fine. That's fine. It happens. They kind of mailed it in. They didn't think the Memphis Grizzlies were going to be as competitive as they were. I'm not too disappointed in how that turned out. They still won. The most important thing now is, can they take advantage with hopefully some losses that go in our way, and one has already started. So Denver lost on a last-second shot with 0.9 seconds left against San Antonio in San Antonio, which puts them in the third spot with all records being the same. Minnesota owns the tiebreaker, and Oklahoma City owns the tiebreaker against Minnesota, which means if all three teams win their last game, which I feel pretty confident that Oklahoma City and Memphis and Minnesota will win the remaining games, just thinking that they want those spots, right? Then now Denver could be sitting in the third spot.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Ooh, we got another Joe Soro coming in. Hold on.
Another Joe Soro.
I'm just popping the records on the screen. As of right now, Joe.
Where are we here?
That's
Hold
it. I just popped it on the screen.
Oh, no, good.
Yeah.
So looking at the standings here right now, according to our chat room peeps, they're following the Pelicans game. Pelicans are up, I believe, 14 at the half. I guess they went nuts from the 3-point line. And if they end up beating Golden State, now the Lakers can at least, if they stay at the 9, have home court to play the Golden State Warriors this time, instead of what I thought was going to be a San Francisco trip. If Sacramento, but they're winning right now, if they end up beating the Suns, then the Suns have to lose the last game of the year, and the Lakers have to win the last game of the year, and then they have a tied record, which they own the tiebreaker, which would get them the 8th seed again. You follow me? Everybody follow me? Anyone?
I'm following you.
It's a lot of stuff. This is why John and I discussed. It's hard to explain this thing right now because we don't know what the hell we're doing. We don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Denver was going to get the 1 seed because there was no way I thought they were going to lose tonight to San Antonio. Absolutely not. And now they're going to drop from 1 to 3, which is kind of interesting because they might actually be pulling in a better team to play in the first round with the New Orleans Pelicans should they stay in 6. Because if Golden State or the Lakers end up getting the 8th seed, you have to deal with the great players, even though I'm pretty sure Denver would beat the Lakers. But they don't have to deal with a hot Golden State team, all that stuff. I guess that's how they'd look at it maybe, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking. But we're going to find out tonight, folks. We're going to find out tonight probably a little bit more on what this is going to be. And then for sure, the last game. And this whole playing thing is starting to make Adam Silver and the NBA look more and more like geniuses. We are invested in this stupid end of the year crap, but at the same time, are we? Are we really though? I mean, think about it for a second.
Invested?
Let's look at the 9 and 10 seed. Let's say there wasn't a play-in. Essentially, we'd be waiting for these last 3 teams to make that one last spot in the 8. It still would have been
a good race, but
right?
But not as good as it is, though. And like, there's just like so many more teams that are now.
So it's almost like an extension of the last. It's games 83 and 84.
Yeah, and
hilarious. Yeah. Go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, I was just gonna add and it just like prevents teams from tanking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a regular 10th seed would be like, screw it. You know, like we're 2 games out of the playoffs. Like 2 games left in the season. Screw it. Like, it is what it is. And they would just mail it in, start playing all these garbage players. But now, like, we got.
Was there going to be any point in tanking this year, considering this is going to be probably one of the worst gauged drafts in the NBA history?
I thought you said something else.
I mean, the New Orleans Pelicans have already put out a feeler out there that they're not going to take that draft pick, and they don't even know if it's going to be a lottery pick.
Well, let me say something about Juan real quick. Juan, again, always a great part of what we're doing. Appreciate you stopping by on YouTube. But remember what the Lakers starting lineup tonight, what their overall record is: 17-6. Is that correct, Joe? With the
Yes.
victory tonight,
Yes.
that's 11 games above 500. How many games above 500 is the Lakers on the season, Joe?
How many games? I'm sorry.
How many games on the season overall are the Lakers above 500?
They are 11 games over 500.
So you put that into context. The Lakers starting lineup they used tonight. Yes, it did have D'Angelo and Austin, who obviously Juan you don't like in there. But that starting lineup has created that 11 game buffer as far as what we have there. Otherwise, we're 500, literally 500 on the season on any other lineup mix that we've used. So I don't know if you'd want to deviate in the last game from something that has worked for this team.
It's not
at all.
Let's not. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Juan.
D'Angelo, bad game or otherwise. I'm just saying it's.
Well, let's do the math. Let's do the math, and I know this is extreme, but
against garbage. So all 23 games against were garbage teams.
Based off the 17-6 record with D'Angelo, Austin, Rui, LeBron, and AD starting, the Lakers would have been on pace to win 60 games.
LOL.
23 games is not a sample. That's 1 quarter of the season.
But you're saying Juan,
a little bit more than 1 quarter.
But
so
Juan's saying that's they're all against garbage teams, Joe. All those 23 games.
Okay, I don't know who the garbage teams are. I guess who's a garbage team in the West?
So the Celtics was garbage.
I mean, the Rockets were threatening here for a minute. They're an 11th team out of 14. I'm sorry, 15. What is a garbage team? What is a garbage team in your book, Juan? I don't know what a garbage team is. There aren't any garbage teams right now. There's too much parity for there to be garbage teams, really, except for the bottom half of, let's say, the bottom 5 in the East and then the bottom 4 in the West. That's 9 teams out of 30 that you could consider garbage.
I mean, D'Lo's been struggling this past week. But Saturday, he was golden. So if he goes off again and LeBron and AD follow, Sunday we could very easily
pull up the standings there, Gerald. Pull up the standings.
I'll bring it up again. Give me a
pull it up. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. This is the part of the show where when you prepare for a show, you have outlines, you have templates, but then we want people to.
And I also want to. Let me just stress one more thing. The Lakers will have a shorter trip. They're already getting ready to go on the trip to New Orleans right now. New Orleans is still playing their game, and they're on the West Coast. So they will have a tougher travel to their own home for the Sunday game. Just want to make sure everybody remembers that as well.
Go down, Gerald. Go down on that.
Go down to below
make sure. Let's see. Okay, so we got garbage teams. We have San Antonio, Portland, Memphis, Utah. Would you call those guys garbage?
Wait, Portland, I would.
Okay, so we're looking at, let's say Utah. Let's say the last 4, just like I said. 30-50 is not a good record, right? Now go to the East, Gerald. Go to the East. So there's 4 in the West. And by the way, that means 11 teams in the West. You got to play 4 times or 3. Those aren't garbage teams. Now you're looking at 42 to 44 games from those guys. Now we go to the East. Let's see who's a garbage team. Go ahead and move up there, Gerald.
I did. It's all the way up to Boston.
No, I meant go down, go up, like as in I want to see the bottom. Okay. Detroit, Washington, Charlotte, Toronto, Brooklyn. Would you consider Atlanta garbage too? So 6. So there's 10 teams. Let's just say 10 teams. Let's say 10 teams. I'm not going to put Chicago in there. They're almost 500. Garbage teams. And now in the East, you have 6 teams there. You only play 12 times. So 4 and 6, you're playing, let's see, 16 plus 12. So 28 of those teams out of the 82-game season are garbage teams. You guys follow me? Am I confusing you?
I'll give you that, Juan. They didn't play. They didn't rebound or play defense today at all. It was
we didn't do a lot tonight. I ain't gonna lie. We didn't. I was saying this earlier to Joe.
I don't care about tonight's game.
But let me say this, Joe. When we were winning 9 of 10 games leading into that Cleveland game, everybody, including you, Juan, were probably really high on the Lakers and what their chances will be. So everybody was on the bandwagon then, especially how they were playing then, winning 9 of their 10 games against whoever the opponent was and looking really good. Then everything went off the rails. And you can see basketball is a game of rhythm because LeBron leaves. What happens? Then AD doesn't show up on Tuesday. What happens? So, I mean, this team is very tenuously together. They're held together by Band-Aids named AD and LeBron. And if they're not there or one's off, it's bad. It's bad.
I like that bet, Joe. I like that.
Shot of Patron. That means I got to go buy Patron.
That's a good bet, Juan.
I'll get some silver Patron.
But Juan, we're always grateful to have you here. We do appreciate your opinions. So
and again, Gerald, I did make an announcement about our chat room etiquette. We need to stop. Silencing
other opinions.
Yeah, we need to stop.
We need to stop silencing a little bit of an attitude, I should say, on a discussion. Attitude is okay sometimes.
Or if it's anti-Lakers or something, if it's not really
I already went to I already went on the details. We know what a troll is, okay? Someone that comes on and just says stupid stuff and just wants to get it.
But if you just say something that's against your opinion.
So Gary A the other night was silenced, and I'm not very happy about it. And I want you all to understand.
That's the second time that happened.
Yeah, we need to stop doing that. Gary A might be a narc.
We went off on him, but let us.
But I don't care. I don't care if he's not calling names. He's not cursing up a storm. He's not calling people names. He's not doing that. Let him talk. Let people like that talk. Don't silence them. Now, if you guys get into an argument with each other on there and you want to stop the argument, that's fine. But if it's directed at us, I want that kind of kickback. I want to talk about that stuff. That's the stuff that matters a lot of times because someone needs to explain to us why they're saying what they're saying, and we don't get a chance to see it because they've been silenced. We are not a censorship show here, folks. We want to make sure everybody has that attitude.
And this is the second time we've had to address this, Joe. And again, if it comes down to it, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to take everybody's privileges away, except for Search.
No. Hold on. I don't like doing that either, Gerald. I get what you're doing, and I get it.
Because if they don't,
I don't want to talk to I don't want to talk to our people like we're gonna give them demerits.
Well, I'm talking about the mods. The mods are the ones that are supposed to.
Everybody's an adult here. I don't want to look. I raise children. I don't even do that 90% of the time because I don't want that. All right, if you don't do this, you're gonna be in the corner.
Well, again, we've already given one. We've already given twice. This is the second time we've had to deal with it.
Good. See, and see what happened there, guys? Gerald corrected me, and now I'm like, you're right. You did give 2 warnings. Now it's the 3rd time, folks. See how that works?
I don't want to have to take away mods' privileges. It sucks.
See how that works, guys? That's exactly what I'm talking about. You get in your mode, and then all of a sudden, someone says, "Well, we did do A, B, and C." Oh, you know what? You're right. Gerald is right. I stand corrected. Thank you, Gerald, for clearing that up.
Appreciate it, Sean. Thank you again for the super chat.
Thanks, Stella. Appreciate it, brother.
Joe, you got a fan base, Joe. You got people in here talking about when Joe talks, I listen.
I miss Intel. I miss Kurt. Kurt Affair hasn't been here. You know what? I found out about Kurt Affair, Joe.
He's having an affair.
He is. He's cheating on us with Empire Jeff.
Oh,
That's
Kurt.
yes.
Jeff's part of the fam.
I know
So I
that.
don't really
I
consider.
got to go. I still haven't been able to congratulate.
I don't consider Jeff. This is me. I don't consider Jeff. I consider Jeff an extension.
But I just wanted to say that I want to congratulate Kurt on the air for him winning the tourney challenge because he got 99% right on his picks. He was in the top 99%, the top 1% of picks. And I can't even congratulate the guy because he has
who won the tourney?
He was in the Connecticut, but he was in the top 1.2% of people that picked all the people that picked on ESPN.
Good for him.
So if anybody talks to Kurt, just tell him, like to thank him and like to congratulate him.
Come back, Kurt.
Yeah. He's cheating on us with
Blue
Empire
Magic.
Jeff.
That was hella funny, Blue Magic.
He's cheating on us with Empire Jeff.
I can't even pronounce that word. Kurt is a poly. I can't even pronounce that word.
Polyamorous.
Yeah, I think those are the people who believe in multiple partners.
Polygamous.
Polemic. Yeah, whatever. Anyway,
I think you spelled it wrong.
Oh man, no, this is definitely the best. Just not even just Lakers. This is the best NBA post game chat. Man,
the key here is to continue to. We have a staple here. We have Staples.
Staples. You remember Staples, the store? They went out of business.
Even though
they're still alive.
They're still alive.
Even though everybody thinks they're dead because they're not in LA anymore.
Yeah, they're not paying for the crypt.
Remember that was easy. That was easy. That button. You guys remember that?
I have that button.
My teachers in middle school, she used to have one. Man, I used to spam that button. That was easy. That was easy. That was easy.
Xbox, I'll bring it back up here in a second. There you go. I'm switching between you and Sean since both you and Sean.
Again, it's been very nice for you guys to do. You guys kind of went into super chat say on here the last few minutes. Thank you so much. I ended up finding out Gerald's info from last year's numbers too. I was actually quite shocked at what we had. It wasn't a lot, but I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I know people who have two jobs that don't have that kind of money in their bank account.
That's all super chats. So
super chats. Again, thank you guys for supporting the show. For those of you who are here, you got in here late. The Lakers prevailed, if you can call it that, 123 to 120, and it's looking like there might be a little opening to at least host the play-in because the New Orleans Pelicans are beating the Warriors at the moment in San Francisco. They're up 11 with 7:40 left in the third quarter. The Suns right now are 1 point behind the Kings with 5 minutes left in the second. I think for this to really matter at this point tonight, the Kings have to lose too.
Really, I was going to say it's the other way around because if the Pelicans win and the Suns lose, Pelicans pretty much got that locked up for 6. So they probably will take the night off against the Lakers on Sunday or Sunday afternoon. And then the Lakers will be, 1 game behind for 7th place in the Western Conference, Joe.
Yeah, I'm mute.
Joe, you there? You're on mute, Joe.
Yeah.
I accidentally went mute there.
So it might be best if Phoenix loses tonight and the Kings win. And then let's say the Kings lose on Sunday.
Exhausting. What do we want to happen here?
Yeah.
What is the ultimate here?
I think I want New Orleans to win. I think New Orleans should win, and then the Phoenix Suns should lose.
But Joey, we can't even answer the ultimate because we don't know who's gonna be that 1 seed or that 2 seed. So to me, I think the ultimate matchup is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So wherever they land, that's where we need to land.
Let's look at this. I actually didn't think about this. Let's say the Kings beat the Suns. That means they'd be 1 game behind the Lakers. So then we would need the Kings to lose their last game, the Suns to lose their last game, and the Lakers to win the last game, then they get the 7.
Yep.
So really, we need actually Phoenix to beat Sacramento right now. Or
you need Sacramento to beat Phoenix.
Or would you rather wait and guarantee yourself one playoff, but you're going to be on the road to play Phoenix?
Again,
it is a
head scratcher.
It is a head scratcher, man. I don't know what the hell I want. Because it's more of I'd rather have the bird in the hand than 2 in the bush, right? I'd rather guarantee you're going to be in control tonight, by tonight, that you get that one playoff chance. Ooh, almost hit another home run.
Oh, crap, though. But Sacramento plays Portland on Sunday. So, yeah, they might as well lose this one. I guess. But then Phoenix would have to lose on Sunday.
I'd rather guarantee the 8 right now. So I'm cheering for Phoenix to beat Sacramento, and of course the Pelicans beating the Warriors. If that happens, then the Lakers just have to win their last game, and they're the 8th seed, and they only have to play one play-in.
Because Phoenix does play Minnesota on Sunday, which Minnesota may very well have all their big guns.
Hey guys, I thought Denver was going to beat San Antonio tonight. You never know. But control your own destiny is what matters. And this is the other thing that's killing me right now. Imagine if LeBron and AD had just played through this situation they had.
Imagine if we wouldn't have punted so many games throughout the season.
It's just
it changes literally everything.
I can't preach not living in the past and living in the past. So I'm gonna just let that go here at this point. Let's focus on what's going on right now, and just be done with it. But it is a NBA fan's dream right now on what's going on. Everything is so up in the air. Everything matters. Adam Silver's happy right now going with what's going. I think his ultimate dream would be to have the Lakers and the Warriors be the 7 and 8 seed, having Oklahoma City and Minnesota as the 1 and 2 seeds, and then Golden State and the Lakers beating both. That's what I think he wants. And then things get interesting, especially if the Clippers win.
So we want Phoenix.
So imagine this. I want you guys to imagine this. Ideally, what does the NBA hope? It's not going to happen, but let's say what their hope is. Their hope is that Golden State and LA get the 7 and 8 seed. Then Minnesota, Oklahoma City get the 1 or 2, whichever one. The Warriors and the Lakers beat those 2 teams. Then you have Dallas in the 5, and you would get Dallas playing. Wait a minute, that wouldn't work out actually, because Denver would play the winner of the 2nd seed, right? Because it doesn't shift like in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Lakers, let's say, are the 7, that means Denver's going to play the Lakers in round 2, which the NBA would want. Then it's Warriors and Dallas, or Warriors or Clippers in the 2nd round. This thing's getting more and more confusing as I'm talking about it. I thought it was going to go easier, actually.
Honestly, unless you have it in front of you, like it goes down a rabbit hole.
Well, I think the part that's interesting is if I talked like this to anybody except us, they'd look at us and go, "What kind of life do you live?"
You know what? You know what's funny, Joe? I have some friends that I talk to them sometimes about basketball, and they literally just look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, bro, you spend like hours on hours watching these games and editing your videos and doing these post games, and I'm like, yeah, and I love it. And this is why I love this community so much, because like my girl, she don't want to hear this. My friends, they not as invested as I am in this, but you guys, man, you guys are my guys. We're locked in.
So what does your girl say when you're spending too much time with the boys?
Right back at you, my friend.
She's just like, hey, man.
That quality, you still getting that quality time?
Still getting that quality time. I got a baby girl, right?
See, the key is to be with a woman that is
Tuck.
just as busy as you, if not more.
Ooh,
That's what I got.
I like that. See,
Yeah.
okay, so my girl be busy, but when she's not busy at work, she's busy taking care of her daughter.
My woman is busy all the time. So
But
that's
then
the
who's
one you
taking
want.
who's taking care of the kids?
Oh, well, so that's part of the busyness.
Okay, all right, that's what I'm saying. So my
Yeah.
girl's like busy at work, and then when she comes back, she take care of my daughter. It's part of
Well,
the business.
again, Robert, you comprehend because you're about it. This is what we do. Now, here's the funny thing. I don't spend hours and hours off air knowing all this. What happens is 33 years of instantly understanding something, just like in any profession, half this stuff you recognize already what's going on. I already know all the rosters in the NBA. I already know who's good and what. So if I see a score, if I see something going on, if I see a certain stat, I know right away, oh yeah, Durant this and Booker that or whatever. It's not, it's a lot of it is just because of its conditioning. It's just we're conditioned to automatically, how when you really understand what you're doing, your process of elimination gets really good. So an example of that is if somebody tells me, well, who won the Super Bowl with Kurt Warner in the late 90s, since I'm talking about Cool Bro and his damn Rams, I'm automatically going to know Kurt Warner did not play in the NFL before 99 and after, 2012. Boom, like it's automatic. So now I know it's going to be in that little section. That's how things get really good with memory and understanding something, because your process of elimination gets so good. Joe Namath wasn't playing in the 90s. Terry Bradshaw wasn't playing in the 2000s. So when someone asks you a question about those players, boom, boom, boom. Now, most players who don't know it, or most people who don't know what's going on, they're not going to know that. They're not going to be able to process that element. Well, where did Terry Bradshaw play? Well, then that kind of defeats the purpose of asking them that question. The Lakers right now are, I think they going back to this playing the light schedules. I haven't looked at the numbers yet, but a few weeks ago we talked about this on the show. They've played, I think, one of the more difficult schedules in the NBA. I just haven't delved into the details on that too much. I think we're going to do that for the next show. So Lakers have been playing against highly competitive opponents. And a lot of those games that they played in, they didn't have everyone available. Guys like Rui, guys like Vando, guys like Vincent, obviously. They didn't have Spencer Dinwiddie at the time, most of the season. So it's. I'm not trying to make an excuse, but
I'm making an excuse.
Okay, good. John's making an excuse, so that evens things out. We're greedy. We talked about this. We're greedy. We want to win 50 games. We want to get a playoff spot. We have to at least get that. If you have LeBron James and AD, you got to get a playoff spot. That's the only disappointment right now. Even if it was a 6 seed, I would have been pretty content on our path here for the year, even though I would have preferred to be a 4. But it's not – it's a dangerous game you're playing. And your focus is on trying to get health right, but you don't even have a spot in this process, and you're not going to have a spot. You have to play another game or you're possibly out, maybe 2. That's dangerous. It makes the whole season useless at that point. Imagine you go through all this stuff, you go through another year, and you don't make the playoffs because you thought you were valuing your health over seeding. There's only 6 seeds. You had to have gotten to 6. So I'll keep reiterating that as we go. So again, the Lakers won 123-120 tonight, folks. You are listening to Lakers postgame and Lakers Nightcap, or the Lakers Fast Break Nightcap with Joe Soro. We have John Costa here and Gerald Glassford. Gerald Glassford came in a little late, doing his daddy duties, husband duties. John Costa sometimes looks like he's been doing a lot of daddy duties and literally duties. And I remember that. It was a lot of fun at the time. Kind of missed the baby stage.
Yeah.
But the Lakers are
what comes next, though, Joe? grandkids.
Whoa,
I think I got a while for that.
you got a while for that?
I hope you do. I
got
hope
a
you and
while.
I both do.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
got a
put it that way.
while. So current update right now from the out of town scoreboard. Wow, I haven't done this since I was on the radio. So the Pelicans are up 79-66 with 4:37 in the third. And then the Suns are now down 9 at halftime against the Sacramento Kings. Thank you for joining us, everyone. That was your halftime scoreboard. It sounded good, doesn't it?
Timeout.
Sound
That
good?
sounded great.
Was I
But
fast?
Joe, I feel like we've been amigos for some time now. And why am I just finding out now that you were on the radio? Come on,
You didn't know I
Joe.
was on the radio?
I did not.
I had
I did not.
I had a show on KKSM 1320 in Palomar, or I should say San Marcos, with my good friend Curtis Bryant. We were called the Nighthawks. We did a show every Thursday between 9 and 11.
About what?
Sports.
No, that Joe, I'm not gonna lie, that's so dope, and that explains so much as to why you have such great on-camera presence.
Yeah, the radio always appealed to me because I felt it was more freelance versus doing TV. I did do anchor for about 3 months as well, same place, just different department. And one of my co-anchor who's on Channel 8 right now, she's great, Carrie Lane. At that time, her name was Carrie Sargent. She's on at Channel 8 in San Diego, and she's great. And that was, I sensed that she was going to go places.
Palomar close enough to San Diego?
Palomar College, San Marcos. San Marcos is northern San Diego, basically. And the reason why I didn't pursue radio at the time, this was 2007 and a few years ahead of that as well. The radio business is much like coaching. It could take you to Wichita, could take you to Florida, could take you to Laramie, Wyoming. I'm not good with moving around like that. I'm not wired like that. I prefer a house. I prefer controlling my life.
Stability.
Yeah, stability. And unfortunately, in the radio business, the radio producers are very, very. They're like slumlords. They're always slumlordish.
I'll be seeing them here in a couple of days at NAB. So
Yeah,
you're right on that. I hear these conversations that they have with each other when I go to certain meetings and hear about the industry's help, and you could hear them in the crowd saying much of what you're saying, Joe.
And I knew I had a job. Coincidentally, Gerald, my good mentor, John Chalesnik, he had some jobs out in Iowa, $16,000 a year.
That's insane.
$16,000 a year in 2007. I was making 40 at that time, so it would have been a major cut.
That's crazy.
But I would have been on the radio if I had applied and gone through it. But I knew I would be back because I probably either would have quit and stormed out, or I probably would have thrown the producer out of the window at some point. there isn't the key in life. If you all want some advice, is knowing where not to be. When you know where not to be, that actually will give you more benefit than anything else.
Man.
Sean, to answer your question, yes, I did actually announce on the radio the other day that Joe and I will be actively in the off season looking to shop the Lakers Fast Break to radio stations wherever, Nevada, California, but also in the Philippines and Australia seem to be hot markets for us as far as the type of audience that we have. So yes, I'm looking to see if we can get that. But of course, the first thing they'll ask you is, as Joe mentioned, do you have sponsorships? So, we're going to see levels of interest. If we do get levels of interest from radio stations, then obviously we can try do what we can to get sponsorships after that. But yes, that's something that would be a goal of ours, to reach a broader audience, would be to put us on the radio for a 2-3 hour stretch.
Yeah, the radio is an interesting one, especially terrestrial radio at this point. I kind of swore away from terrestrial radio. It got so ad heavy on their shows. I used to love Extra Sports 690 and all the sports shows out of San Diego when I first moved to Southern California in 1996. 10 years later, it just got so obnoxious. You're listening to a show and then 10 minutes. Okay, we'll be back with a break and this. And I felt like all I was listening to was ads and ads and ads and ads. And I'm like, I'm done with this. So 2007, my then fiance, who is now my wife, got me the Sirius Radio doc, and I've never looked back since. I want to get on Sirius Radio. Actually,
That would be the goal.
that is our goal, is to get on the Sirius XM Radio, which means we need a celebrity behind this. We need a celebrity behind this that people really want to pay to watch or listen to, I should say.
All right.
And that's the goal.
Without any you're young criticism here.
You're young.
Okay. I take it.
I'm kidding.
Who's young?
I am. But
how old are you?
25.
You're in the sweet spot.
Yeah, I feel good right now.
Young is like 19.
Life is just getting started for you, my friend, but go ahead.
Life is, my daughter was born at 21, so I feel like I had to grow up kind of quick. But that's neither here or there. My question was, what is the difference between the Sirius XM radio and just a regular radio?
It's digital radio. As far as it accesses nationwide. As far as the clearance. Okay. So NBA radio, for instance, that's channel 86, if I remember correctly, because I actually have right now Sirius with the car I got. That clearance is nationwide, as opposed to just a regional, depending on the power of the actual terrestrial radio station, from either a low power, like for the Cosmos, Pop Culture Cosmos show I do. I send it out to digital radio stations and a select few low power small radio stations around the world that have it. But I'm not on any more large terrestrial stations. I was at one time, but not anymore. So yeah, that definitely is something we'd like to do, is get this channel on large radio stations to a broader audience. So
that would be sick.
There's more preparation in those shows. There's more segments.
We'd have to work with a producer.
15, 20-minute segments. The shows go much quicker on the radio because you're constantly hitting a time. And I remember there were 2-hour shows we did. Man, sometimes we'd get to the end. I'm like, God dang, I didn't want it to end. And I was on air live when the Chris Paul trade happened.
Really?
At the beginning, I have it on CD. And by the end of the show, he wasn't a Laker.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was.
I remember being in school.
It was terrible. It was an absolute horrid night. I was so excited getting on air, and I went to shit in 2 hours. Like, wait a minute, he's not a Laker. What happened? This, that. I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
That was
never heard of a veto in my life.
No, Joe,
I ever heard was in the president.
No, that was crazy, Joe. Me too. I remember being a kid and being like, what the fuck is veto? Yeah. I was like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. And we found out later, and of course, it just such a horrible night.
That was horrible. And then the cover up that they try to do is like, oh well, the Hornets didn't have an owner at the time, so
basketball reasons.
Yeah, crazy.
Why
they were like,
however, we still are going to talk about that. Speaking of Empire Jeff has some information from that time. We are going to have a nightcap that delves into that a little more in detail. And
I'm still waiting. You guys said you were going to plan it.
Okay, I'm waiting too. Jeff's got to get the schedule set up so we can do it.
Chris, or anybody out there, Craving, Sean, Raphael, anybody out there, Jeremy, wherever you're around the world, if you want a radio station that covers this talk or sports, you want them to have the LFB, let them know. Let the station manager know. Let the station know that you want the Lakers Fast Break on your station. Obviously, we'll keep it clean. But we would love to have the opportunity to be on your station, if that's the case, on your local station down there. Yeah. Would love the other opportunity.
It's much easier to do it these days, because before you have to be at the location to do the show.
Yeah. You had to be in a big studio, and
which is the fun part. I love radio. That's one thing I did love. I love being in a radio booth. It's this enclosed room with sponges on the walls so the voices don't bounce out. But now things are much easier. Now we can create a show, put it on anywhere. But I do live. I do like live still. Radio live is still something that's fun, especially if you can make calls and discuss questions and things like that.
Craving, to answer your question, Wiggins, I understand he played like an all-star against us the other day, but that's still a hefty contract, I think, for whatever's left on it. Clay is a free agent, so he would not be available in a trade market unless it's a sign and trade to the Lakers. So
there's going to be a lot to talk about there. So we're gonna continue this discussion a little bit more here tomorrow. A lot of things are going to factor in tonight in how the Lakers are going to end up playing this out. But I wanted to thank everyone for joining us tonight here for the post game as well as the nightcap. John, thanks for being here tonight. I know you have daddy duties and wifey duties and women duty, whatever. I know
but
you got all
it's still kind of early though. So once my daughter goes to sleep, I'm gonna try to hop back on here for the nightcap. If you
good for them. If you want to go ahead and substitute teach for the nightcap, you're more than welcome. For those of you who are listening right now, John will plan on doing that. If you get on, just kind of be prepared for it. I, on the other hand, have some events that I'm going to attend here shortly. Gerald, thank you for letting me host tonight. I actually was excited about hosting Friday nights at 8 o'clock. That's one of the benefits of playing on the East Coast is we can actually have what the West Coast people usually do when they watch games on the West Coast, where we can actually do it all within a timely manner versus waiting until 11 and 12 o'clock.
Before you go, Robert really took some time and effort to type this out, and I want to really go ahead and make sure you
sure. No, anytime Robert asks a question, I'll answer it anywhere, anytime. So go ahead,
Joe. Do you think when LeBron says health over seeding, he's pertaining to that he'd rather be healthy with a good chance to make the playoffs versus solidified in the playoffs only to be hobbled, like Kawhi, for example? Great question.
It's a great question. The problem with that mindset is you don't have a seeding to have that discussion. Kawhi does. If it was as simple as you have 4, 5, 6 solidified, and it's just a matter of getting to the 5 or the 4, and you're a 6, that I get. The problem is the Lakers don't have a playoff spot. They don't have a seeding. 7 to 10 is not a seed. It's a play-in, which means the Lakers have to play 1 or 2 games to get in the playoffs. That whole quote means nothing. You would have been better off playing through whatever you needed to play with the last 2 games to win, get in the playoffs. Then you don't have to spend another game or 2 with that pressure and that headache that will make your health worse. Would have been better to do it before. Also, would have been better if you hadn't punted games in December and January. We keep saying this to everyone, and I want you all to remember this. Games matter, especially in the West. Doesn't matter if it's October, November, January. It matters. I understand if you run out of gas, certain trips to Indiana, certain trips to Charlotte, Atlanta. I get that. But these were games they didn't try to win. It was obvious. And now it's coming back to bite them in the rear end.
I think this evening was just an example as a whole. Not only the game, playback was a mess tonight. Technically, I mean, people couldn't hear or see me. The whole audience couldn't hear or see me except for Cool Bro, guys.
Yeah, Cool Bro never has a communication breakdown. You ever notice that?
Notice that. He always works. Nick and I could hear each other. He could hear no one else. Then all of a sudden, Henry comes on. Courtside Lakers, Henry Hill. He comes on. Everybody can hear him, and then all of a sudden he picks up for only me. I hear an echo. So every time he says something, I hear the same exact thing 3 seconds later of what he just said. So throughout the rest of the night, he has an echo, but only to me. And yet I'm still not able to go ahead. I'm live on there. Yeah, it was just a mess. Just like the Lakers game, guys. Tonight was just a mess in so many different ways, but we did get through it. And that's the most important thing. We got through it with the win. We got through it with, I guess, not being kicked off the air. But yes, I do have half the Philippines hating us because we still don't show the live feed, according to all the effort.
Tell them when we have
Man, they drop
unlimited prominence.
I thought they wouldn't be dropping F.
Tell
Yeah, they
them
drop
when we have
F-bomb.
unlimited prominence, we will have it live.
Tell them
we need the
some
numbers.
lumpia.
Tell the Philippines if we can get a country backing us up, we'll be good. Especially the Philippines.
Yeah.
I have friends that go to the Philippines every year. They've been begging me to go. Problem is I can't leave.
Wow. Check this out. Lakers Fast Break live show in the Philippines.
Well, we're doing one in the Philippines and we're doing one in Australia.
Wow. No, you guys, you know what?
But we need your help. Everybody in the Philippines who's listening to the show, get the consulates, get your deacons, get everyone on board. I said deacons because it's a highly Catholic.
Yes,
area,
it is
right?
very highly
congressmen.
And I'm Catholic, by the way. So again, that's
as am I. So yes,
so
right in.
Get your people.
I'll put that on my pitch letter.
Your Lakers nation, like literally a Lakers nation too.
Literally.
And I have the unfortunate privilege of having one of my best friends who's Filipino, and he's a pain in my rear end. So he's the only negative in the whole Filipino thing for me. I thought it's a joke, by the way. But if you guys can get your people backing us up, we'll be more than happy to make this happen.
Yes.
Believe me. Believe you me. Believe
help
us
me.
you.
Help
Believe
me help you.
Us.
LFB International.
Believe
I love that.
Them, he, and she.
I like that.
And with that, confusion of all confusions. Gerald, do you have more to say? I'm sorry.
It's going to be about a 9-point lead for New Orleans heading into 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then, of course, the game with the Phoenix and Sacramento.
Well, let's do this. Would you and John like to continue the post game?
Yeah, because you have other things to attend to. Sure.
Folks, I am going to pass it off to our podfather here with our what's a good nickname for John?
He's the president of the D'Angelo Russell fan club.
No, it's too basic. We need something good. I'm going to give a thought. You're going to get a nickname, John.
All right.
I fear
you're going to get a nickname because Johnny Boys. I got too many Johnny Boys in my stables. Johnny Boy's too easy. We're going to get you a name. I'll have something for you here soon. But with that, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you for listening to me. Hopefully I ranted enough to make you happy. I didn't really feel like a rant tonight because I kind of knew they were going to sell out tonight and still win, and it's exactly what happened. I just don't know they were going to sell out that bad. But they knew they would kind of play kind of whacked like they did. But they still got the win, again, 123-120, and it's looking like the Lakers will likely have the front seat to at least host the first round here in the play-in with what's going on with the Pelicans and the Warriors, but we'll know more probably by the end of the season here. That's coming up short. So with that, folks, thank you for being here and listening to me, and I'm going to pass it off to Gerald and John. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Yes, and I will have, speaking of tomorrow, it will be the Lakerholics Spotlight at 10 a.m. Pacific. They said they want to do it early. Rise up early in the morning. I guess we'll go ahead and do it. I know that Jamie Sweet will be there. Laker Tom, I'm pretty sure, will be there. I'm sure he'll have plenty of Coke ready to go to drink. I guess I got hold on. It was Jamie, the crowd. Darren said he wants Jamie and Stone to be on one show. And Henry said he wants to do one with Laker Tom. So that would, I have to see if I can get that lined up. John, do you have any individual panelists that you want to host the show with?
No, honestly, I love doing the show with all you guys, to be honest. Okay. I love hopping on with Stone, love hopping on with Laker Tom, love Rob. I love everybody, to be honest.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking.
I'm just happy to be here.
Because if there is something, I'll try to make it happen if that's the case.
I'm just
happy
happy
to get the edge. All right. Chris is asking, and once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do win barely in a game that, if I didn't have gray hairs already, I would have gotten them. 123-120 over a team in Memphis tonight that had 13 of their players, including their top 6 rotation players, out of the lineup tonight. And also, as well, they had won only 9 games at home all season. But again, they did squeeze out the victory. Chris asks, do you guys have confidence in Lakers turning this around, at least getting to the first round? I think for me, if they get to the 7-8 game, especially if they're seventh, I have more confidence than that. If they get to the 9-10 game, John, I'm a lot less confident. I don't care if they even win that 9-10 game. Winning 2 games in the play-in against this murderer's row of Western Conference team is going to be very hard.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you, Gerald. And even to add to that is like one thing we've struggled with all season is being consistent. So it's like I don't know if we can be able to stay consistent for those 2 games. So I'm in agreement with you right there, Gerald. I think that if we can lock up one of those seeds where just played it, like as of right now, like as of today, we're sitting in that 8th seed. If we can play the Suns, if we beat them, we get locked in as the 7th seed for actual playoffs and then play the Timberwolves. So that'd be the route I'd want to go. But I mean, I've said it multiple times on here, between Timberwolves and Oklahoma City Thunder, I want to see Oklahoma City Thunder. But
So
yeah.
Sacramento has to win tonight in my estimation. Actually, Phoenix has to win in my estimation tonight, John, because Sacramento has an easy game on Sunday. Phoenix has Minnesota on Sunday. So if Phoenix does somehow come back from the 14-point deficit that they're down, I think that would make it better. But yeah, I'm losing a little bit of hope more and more with each minute passing by, my friend. But yeah, I'm hoping that Phoenix does win tonight somehow, because again, I don't think they're winning on the road at Minnesota on Sunday.
Yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna kind of wait until Sunday because this thing is just gonna be so crazy. Like me and Joe were saying earlier, like we didn't even expect the Spurs to beat the Denver Nuggets today. So that's happening. Literally anything can happen. But no. As always, though, Gerald, appreciate just the invite and being here, and appreciate the whole community. I do have to hop off here because got to put baby girl to sleep. Got to do what the daddy duties is like, Gerald.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, then I will go ahead and shut down the show then. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by. I'll be on again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. with Jamie Sweet, Laker Tom, or it'll be Jamie and Laker Tom. We'll have a Lakerholic spotlight for you tomorrow. John, are you coming back on Sunday after the game?
I am going to try to be there on Sundays because I go to church in the morning, and then I help out with like this little kids zone after church. But if anything, what I'll do is I'll hurry home and I'll be in the post game. Don't know if I'll have been able to watch the whole game as intently as I usually do, but I really, really want to be here for the last game, though. So I'm going to try to make it happen.
All right. Well, let's hope you do, my friend. It is John Costa. Please go ahead and check him out today. He had a good interview the other day, didn't you? Before we head on out, you got to do that cheap plug.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come check me out, guys. I got Lakers Corner. It's my Lakers YouTube page, and then I got Clutch Talk, which is on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. That's NBA Talk Show, where I drop 2 episodes per week talking all about the NBA. Get at me. But as always, appreciate you, Gerald, our pod father.
You got it. Appreciate it as well, my friend. Lakers Corner, Clutch Talk. Joe Soro, I guess that's the nightcap for this evening because he's got plans, I guess, people to see and things to go and things to drink. But if he's up tomorrow at 10 a.m., he can always join us as well. So definitely we'll find out a little bit more as far as what's going on with the Lakers and what they need to do on Sunday. So we'll find that out tomorrow and have it for you on the Lakerholic Spotlight tomorrow morning. But again, the Lakers do win barely tonight, 123-120. We'll be back tomorrow for Lakerholic Spotlight. Yes, you're a punk too. I said I was trying to be nice to Joe, but I guess not. You have places to go and things to do. That's all. That's all I said. Whatever. That's Joe for you. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers do win 123-120, and we'll be back tomorrow for Lakerholic Spotlight right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.